Good day everyone, today is Thursday, May the 19th. My name is Rafi Boyajian, currency analyst at xm.com, here to provide you with your Forex news update. Hawkish minutes by the Fed drove the dollar higher towards 2-month highs in early Asian trading on Thursday as investors readjusted their expectations of a June rate hike. In the minutes of the April policy meeting, FOMC participants agreed that if the incoming data points to higher second quarter growth, improving labor market conditions and inflation rising towards the Fed's 2% target, then it would be appropriate for the committee to increase the Fed funds rate in June. Several Fed policymakers had already signaled that a June rate hike is possible given the recent pickup in inflation. However, markets had focused on Fed Chair Yellen's more cautious stance, who had suggested that the Fed is in no hurry to raise rates anytime soon. The probability of a June rate hike, as implied by the futures markets, jumped from 19% to 34% after the minutes were published, helping the dollar to rally above 110 yen yesterday. The greenback hit a 3-week high of 110.38 yen in today's Asian session. The Australian dollar followed commodity prices downwards and ignored better than expected jobless figures. The unemployment rate in Australia remained at 5.7% in April, confounding expectations that it would edge up to 5.8%. The Aussie was trading just above the 0.72 level against the US dollar in late Asian session. The Japanese yen was also unable to benefit from strong data as it fell against other currencies, despite a big increase in machinery orders. March machinery orders in Japan rose by 5.5% month-on-month, beating estimates of a 0.5% increase. In European currencies, the euro continued to lose ground against the bullish dollar and hit a near 8-week low of 1.1205 in today's Asian session. Sterling was one of the few winners against the dollar yesterday, rising by 1% against the US currency, following more polls that pointed to a win in the EU referendum for the Remain camp. However, the pound was down today on profit-taking and was last trading around $1.4580. Coming up later today, Eurozone current account and UK retail sales figures will be the main data in the European session. Later in the US session, the weekly US jobless claims are due, as well as speeches by the Fed's Fisher and Dudley, which are likely to be watched closely for any clues on US monetary policy. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.